Hi, hello. How are you? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing okay and taking care of yourselves. So, let's get into it. So, today's video is gonna be a bit unhinged, full of female rage, and maybe a bit delusional too, because I am recording this on F. Scott Fitzgerald's birthday, which is 24th September, and I'm gonna talk about his greatest classic of all time, The Great Gatsby. So, it's gonna be a bit unhinged. I mean, if you know me personally, I am fascinated and crazed and knee deep in love with this novel. I personally think that this novel will remain timelessly beautiful, tragic, and heartbreaking, and alluring, and excruciating, and everything in between. I mean, the story is capable of charming you with some of the most elegant English prose ever published. Each sentence is capable of moving you, and this novel is just full of deeper meaning. And I don't think it's possible to discuss this novel without being awestruck by its beauty. I have read this novel many times, and each time this classic story has given me something new, some new insights about each character. And I remember the first time I read this, I instantly hated Daisy and Tom Buchanan. And somewhere between my second or maybe third read, I don't remember, but somewhere I realized that I loved Daisy's character so much that now I see no point in why would uh, people hate or blame her for Gatsby's death. And this is what the video is all about. It's just me defending and fighting till my last breath for a fictional character. And while doing this, I'll be breaking each character up and observing them through my lens throughout the entire novel. So if you haven't read it, it's a warning. Spoiler alert. The story starts with Nick Carraway and his father's teaching about reserving his judgments about people, and these teaching of his father's get tested when he goes to West Egg in New York, where people's cruel judgments and rumor about his mysterious neighbor Jay Gatsby is all he can hear. Let's start this with Nick, who's narrating the story through his rosy tinted glasses with gorgeous pores, telling us how much we should trust him and his judgment about his people. And in the first line, he talks about reserving his judgments, but on introducing us to Tom Buchanan, he straight went ahead telling us how wealthy, aggressive, and arrogant he is. He said, and I quote, he had changed since his New Heavens years. Now he was a sturdy, straw-haired man of 30 with a rather hard mouth and a supercilious manner. Two shining, arrogant eyes have established dominance over his face and gave him the appearance of always leaning aggressively forward. Nick tells us he won't judge people, but after one interaction with Tom after years, he judges him, calls him arrogant, dominating, racist, and a cheating partner, and says Tom would drift on forever, seeking a little wistful for the dramatic turbulence of some irrecoverable football game after all his being a national figure in a way, reaching such an acute limited excellence at 21 that everything afterward savors of anticlimax. I mean, I'm not saying Tom was a good man. He's everything. He's arrogant, dominating, racist. But my point is, Nick is not a trustable narrator. In the novel, Nick also said that his one quality of which he's so proud is honesty. But after returning from that party in flat with Tom, his mistress, and her sister, he doesn't go and tell his cousin about her husband's cheating on her. He also does not disclose this very important information to save Gatsby's pride when Tom insults him and exposes Gatsby's drug business in front of Daisy. Even after seeing that how Daisy and Tom were behaving on the night after Daisy did her hit and run episode, he knew very well that lady who died was Tom's mistress. He did not tell that important information to Gatsby or to Daisy. Nick is the main person who puts everyone around him in deception. The chaos between Tom, Daisy, and Gatsby destroys and wastes countless innocent victims. Every twist, turn, jab, and hook thrown by Tom and Gatsby is relayed by this instantly likable narrator, seemingly the only voice of reason amongst all the storm. But when you look at him carefully, he's just like everyone else, backstabbing friends, lying, pretending to be superior to others, which eventually leads to this ethical massacre. This shows us that Fitzgerald shows mercy on no lives. There's not a single character of any significance worth. Now, moving on with our lover boy, Jay Gatsby, who initially I loved so much that I cannot tell you. He literally was my fictional crush. But on closer inspection, I was like, no, I'm happy with Mr. Knightley. I want to be Emma Woodhouse. Uh, back to Gatsby is that he showed his modesty and patience by waiting 5 years for Daisy, but in many moments, it felt like Daisy was just his obsession, not his love. And let me enlighten you: if Gatsby was really, really modest, he would have never tried to snitch a married woman from her husband by throwing his newly owned money. There were also moments where Gatsby just goes around playing with Daisy's feelings. And the most toxic trait of his was running away from his true identity, thinking of himself as God capable of changing the past. And boy, when Nick describes the argument scene between Jay and Tom, Nick says that in that moment, Gatsby looked like he murdered someone. I was like, man, the dude was in the army. He took part in World War II. He sure as hell killed someone, more than one. I mean, at least I hope so. That's how you survive in a war. And also, when he sees Daisy's daughter for the first time, it's in the book, not in the movie. Nick says that Gatsby looks like he was expecting it to be a lie. Like, he never thought that Daisy's daughter was real. What is this? What is this behavior? If you love the lady, Gatsby, you have to accept everything about her. In my humble opinion, Gatsby should have ran away with Daisy with all of his illegally earned money. I mean, they could have had a nice life, but Gatsby wanted to take her to her parents' house where they would marry. I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, it looks like Gatsby wanted to be in the rich people's group and he needed a way, and he saw that way in Daisy and renamed that desire of his into love for Daisy. It's like he wanted to be part of the popular group of teenagers, and the only way to get into it to be friends or be husband of this popular girl. I mean, Gatsby was childish and immature. Now for my love, my little sweet angel, Daisy, who was the only good character, was also manipulated many times by these childish and stupid men around her. And I mean, I know she was bad. I mean, haven't you all heard the law, which my mom kind of told me that married couples have the exactly same level of badness and goodness, the halal haram ratio. And let's go through the whole story through Daisy's lens. I mean, it will clear why I think she's a good character, and think about what would you do and what she was supposed to do in those circumstances. Let's start from the beginning. Daisy's a teenage girl who's the hottest chick in all of Louisville. She used to have like 6 dates in a single day. The phone never stopped ringing. She has nothing but options and options and options of guys to friend zone, bro zone, and reject. But she also isn't those dumb blondes. She knows that she only has one option in reality, and that's marrying a rich man. Think about how much that knowledge and wisdom would have killed her from inside. No one wanted her daughter to be a beautiful little fool. And then one day, this hot and charming guy with his electric and magnetic personality shows up, whose name, he tells her, is Jay Gatsby, and she actually starts to like the guy, like really falling for him, not just your everyday flirting that she used to do with other boys. and then she kissed him, which must have been a big thing because in old times, it used to be a big thing. And this dude is a captain in the army, and he implies that he's super well off financially. It's perfect. It's the best option for her. And then Jay has to go to the war, which is honestly a huge bummer. But they continue to write letters to each other. But we all know how long distance relationship works, and her family, her society, her friends, the whole world is pressurizing her to get married or else all the good ones will be gone. And now the war ends. Daisy's waiting for Jay's return, but he's not coming. He's in Oxford for God knows why. And she feels betrayed and played. She begs him to come to her in her letter asking for his reasons for not coming. And Jay is not revealing anything. And now she has nothing to tell her parents, society, her friends. So she gives up and goes to her casual flirting with 6 dates in a day. And then this guy pops up in town. He's really rich and buff and a real society man. And he's not from Louisville. So he's a way out and she can see the world with him. Best of all, he's obsessed with her. This guy is Tom Buchanan, by the way. So what she should do? She can't do anything. She has to marry him. And then for the purpose of creating a huge drama, she receives a letter from Gatsby. She screams, she cries, she begs her mom to stop the wedding, but nothing stops it. And now she's married to Tom Buchanan. After her marriage with Tom, she doesn't hate or dislike Tom. In fact, she kind of starts developing feeling for him. I mean, why not? He's charming, buys her expensive shit, is romantic with her, and carries her so that her shoes don't get dirty. Basically the honeymoon phase of any marriage. And then she gets pregnant. But she doesn't mind that because who doesn't like kids? And then Tom turns out to be a total fuckboy. He fucks with everything with girls' part and he created a big drama. And now she has to leave her hometown where everyone is full on obsessed with her and her family and friends and everything, which was her life, all because of Tom. And she might have thought about leaving Tom, but now she has a daughter whom she loves so much. And she knows that life would be so hard for her daughter if she leaves Tom as a girl without her daddy. So she stays with Tom, praying her daughter to be a beautiful fool because she will have the same life as her, and she prays for her daughter doesn't end up wishing for more like her, but be like Tom's girl, so she will be a fool, silly enough to be happy with life's inability to give her more she wanted for herself. Life goes on. Daisy is in New York now, where she got her old friend from Louisville, Jordan Baker, and Tom is still being a douchebag, cheating on her and all, but she has accepted this life and was able to forget about his cheatings, but he has to attend his stupid calls with his mistress, which makes Daisy miserable. And then one day, her old cousin Nick Carraway from Louisville comes to New York and suddenly asks her for a strange kind of tea party where she has to come alone. But she thinks, why not? Tom's cheating, like, is her cousin. She doesn't think about him like that, and so she will just zone him. But a huge twist and shock for her in that small tea party for three, her love of life, Jay Gatsby, is present. And she must have thought, what a coincidence. Let's catch up and leave. But Jay here talks to her for hours, reminds her of their all good time together, and takes her to his big house where she cries for all the lost time and all the things she couldn't have to go through only if this guy wasn't a douchebag. And at his audacity for coming back after leaving her without contacting her for years, and then all of a sudden appearing is like, I am a rich man as I promised. I live right across the border from you and I can see your house. Let's get together and hear all my fancy shirts that I will throw at you. I mean, what I found weirdest is that why they kept Nick with them. Like, really, why? And for Daisy, her life with Tom is already miserable, so I see no point why she would turn down Gatsby. And then she finds out it wasn't a coincidence. Any of that wasn't a coincidence. All along, all the people she trusted, Nick, Jordan, and Gatsby, have been manipulating her. They all have had these secrets and plans and lies and whatnot to get Daisy with Gatsby. And if you think about it, Gatsby is not nice or romantic or kind or fair to Daisy at all. His expectations are insane. He left her and built a life for himself and lived as he wanted. traveled and made up his story and became wealthy and threw party while she lived with a cheating husband. And after all that, if she wants admission into the life that being with him might give her, she has to say no. She wasn't ever happy. There wasn't a moment she loved Tom. Ridiculous. And when she plaintively say, I love you now, isn't that enough? I can't help the past. She's just begging Gatsby to accept her. How absolutely tragic. Tom cheats on her, and Gatsby expects so much. She has never been fully, truly, without exception, loved. So after she has already been pressured by Gatsby to act as though entire swath of her life didn't happen, she finds out Gatsby has been lying to her all along, keeping the truth from her in order to protect this psychotic fairy tale proportion of a total goddamn made up story, like a total freak. What would you do if you were going to leave your shitty gross husband for what seems like a better life, but really has always been a lie? And what if you had a daughter whom you love and worry about, and she loves you too so much, you would just leave her in the care of that shitty, creepy, cheating, disgusting husband who wouldn't care less and would not be at all above using her as a chess piece? You would leave her when everything you thought you knew was completely made up, when it's just your dearest loved ones, when you all along? No, I wouldn't, and you wouldn't too. Daisy chooses to protect her daughter by living a life with Jay Gatsby, who happens to be a con sexy man. You see, it's made crystal clear that Daisy is great, smart, and responsible. So not like Tom's girl. I honestly think it must have been very difficult for her to choose to live with Tom, who's an idiot, racist, stupid, and arrogant. But she's also the same person who says all these things on his face without being afraid of him, and it was the grown-up option. She chooses the grown-up option. Her character was very well developed and telling us she wasn't just a beautiful fool. And now with the accident, she was traumatized. Gatsby created the whole cover-up. He took the wheel, he drove away, he hit the car. She had no idea the whole thing would go so horribly wrong. Nick didn't tell her about Tom's mistress, and Gatsby made all the choices in the aftermath. His stupidity of thinking of himself as God, as being able to change the past, was all doing, which led to this massacre. Also, my last point, it's never mentioned in the book nor in the movie that Daisy knew about Gatsby's death. So you can never blame her for not attending the funeral, and I know for sure that the butler who picked up Nick's call would never inform her about it. If anything, she was not the bad person, she was the victim, and with that, I rest my case.